Welcome to Market Recap Live. I am your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God it's Friday, guys, and I'm happy about it. I got 2 days to myself. Woo! It's been a week, but we here. So tonight we are taking a look at ticker HTZ. You might know them better as Hertz. Hertz Global Holdings Incorporated was founded in 1918 by Walter L. Jacobs, with the first location opening in Chicago, Illinois. Now they're publicly traded on the NASDAQ and have a market value over $1 billion. Hertz is in the rental and leasing services industry in the industrial sector, and they are not listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of Hertz competitors are Avis Budget Group, ticker CAR, Uber Technologies, ticker UBER, and Lyft, ticker LYFT. We're going to review Hertz earnings, their website, and visit the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, and put an FB in the chat if you're tuning in from Facebook. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Okay, let's get to it. Let's go to these earnings. Bam. Man, I love it when we be on point. Hertz ticker symbol HTZ. The $1.9 billion company reported its first quarter 2026 earnings on May 7th. They have a 52-week high of $8.44, which took place on July 10th, and a 52-week low of $3.78 that occurred on March 19th, which is a trading range of $4.66. And they closed today at $6.05. Hertz earnings report beat on the top line, reporting revenue of $2 billion, which was higher than the market expectations of $1.9 billion. But they missed on the bottom line as heavy vehicle depreciation and elevated fleet costs offset growth. EPS was higher than the analyst and market expectations of negative 71 cents when they reported an adjusted EPS of negative 72 cents. Hertz reported a GAAP net loss of $333 million, which was lower than the $443 million net loss they reported this same quarter last year. This represents a decrease of 24.8%. So for the first fiscal quarter of 2025, their net loss was approximately 33% more than it is compared to now a year later. The earnings were released before the market opened, followed by a 9 a.m. Eastern Time conference call. As far as guidance, management is aiming for a core profit margin of 3 to 6% for the year of 2026. That 52-week low compared to today's closing of $6.06 represents an increase of 60.3% over a span of approximately 2 months. So if someone invested $1,000 in March at that 52-week low of $3.78, they would be seeing a gain of $603.17. Okay, let's go here. We on a roll. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button. I appreciate it. Let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition? And how well do they take care of their employees? To find those answers, we browse 4 key areas: the homepage for the goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, investor relations for SEC filings and stock quotes. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Now, let's go back to Hertz website. Let's check them out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna remember to do this time. So here we go. We are on their website. We have Hertz. We on a roll tonight. Change the disclaimer. Man, consistency pays off, because now I'm getting the hang of this. All right, we need to zoom in. We are on the main page of Hertz. Remember, the links for the website are in the description for your convenience. So Hertz rent cars, guys. It ain't rocket science. Hertz rent cars, and they sell cars. They sell cars when they got the use that they needed to get out of them, try to hold a little bit of value, return some of that value to the company by selling those cars. So right here on the main page, matter of fact, here we go. So book a car, that's renting. So we can see all of the different ways you can do that. Explore the fleet: cars, convertibles, trucks, electric vehicles. I mean, they have a wide variety for you, okay? So then for the customer, buying a car, they tell you where to buy. You can trade in a car. I mean, it's a lot of different things in that business model as far as like with buying a car. I didn't even know they had a trade-in situation. And they say you can complete that online. So manage, book a car, they got offers. Okay, so what we're gonna look for, I don't know if it's at the top. So let's just scroll over the homepage, all right? And remember, the links for the websites are down in the description. If I'm moving too fast, or if you see something that catch your attention that you want to look at, go ahead and check that out. So they have an app you can download to your phone. Who doesn't have an app nowadays, right? So just check to see. Google Play and Apple and the Apple App Store. So you can go get you a Hertz app and browse over that and do some qualitative analysis. All right, so we're at the bottom of the main website. So let me take me off the screen and make sure I'm not blocking anything. We are going to look at, I'm browsing over it to see, to make sure I don't miss anything. About Hertz, we're definitely going to go to investor relations. Put me back on the screen because I'm not blocking anything now. We're going to visit careers. We're going to go to Hertz Awards, find out what they've been recognized for. So we're going to go there. Other Hertz companies. So it might be some other companies you weren't aware of that were also Hertz, like different brand names. Like when we look at foods, you thinking you switching the food company by going, and it's the same doggone company. So we're going to look at that. And I don't see anything like about the company. So what we're looking for might be under the careers. Okay. But I think that's enough for us to cover. So let's go ahead and go to Hertz Award. No, let's go to other Hertz companies. Let's start off with the different brands. Okay. So what I'm immediately seeing right here is that Hertz also goes under the brand Dollar Car Rental and Thrifty Car Rental. So those are the other brands that's under the Hertz family. And they didn't took us over to the investor stuff, but we're going to come back to that. And it actually took us to that. Let's see. If I downsize that, it don't look like I can go back. Go here. Let's just click that. Nope. It didn't take us back. Down to the bottom of the page. Hertz Global. No. Man, don't tell me this thing took us. Because this is an X. Is this going to close this out? Okay, good. Ooh, almost panicked. So we covered that. Now we're going to go to Hertz Awards and see what they've been recognized for. We'll be back shortly. What is going on? Boy, I'm telling you, it's always something. So let's close that out. And it's popping up the window so fast tonight, I'm not even realizing it opened up a whole different window. So that didn't really show us anything. We went to the other Hertz company. Let's go ahead and go to careers. And that opened up a different website over here. So let me bring it over and blow it up so we can go through this, okay? Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button. I appreciate you. So let me fix this over here. We're going to blow this up. Boom, full screen, zoom in. All right. So there we go. Here we go with this cookie mess, man. Cookie. All right, accelerate your career. What we're looking for, I'm looking for the benefits. How well do you take care of the employees? So I'm interested in benefits. So they talk about field operator. These are the different departments that they need employees for. They need talent for. Hey, there we go, benefits. And I'm blocking it so you can't see it. So here you go, right here, benefits. Let's see how much of this they disclose on the website. Where are you located? I guess this does matter, okay? Mainland. Okay, they really going into detail here. It must be different benefits in Hawaii because they separating it. I'm zooming in. I'm gonna put me back on the screen. I just want to make sure you can see that. There we go. So as you scroll down, new hire hub, health and wellness, financial, fuel your finances. We're not gonna go through all these. The links for the website are down in the description for your convenience if you want to check them out. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just click on the financial one because I'm curious. So they do have it broken down into different categories. Now, how much they're gonna actually go into this. So this is accidental death and dismemberment, just in case you don't know what that means. And I have some videos on my main channel about life insurance, whole life insurance, where we cover this in one of those videos, I believe. And they have adoption assistance. So let me see if I click on something, if they give you more details. They do. Okay. So we're going to be clicking and scrolling all night, but you can see they go very deep into how far you want to go into looking to the benefits, which is really cool. I like that. So we're going to leave this section and we are going to go to the investors relations. So here we go. Investors relations opened up on a different screen. So I'm gonna have to bring this over. So here we go. Bring this over, blow this up, bam. So this is back where we were at before. So I'm gonna blow that up, blow this back up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing. I definitely would appreciate it. So now that we're here with the investors relations, we want to scroll over this page, which we looked at a little earlier because we was looking at the different brands. So now let's find the stock info. It's right here at the top. Besides this area right here, I want to see if they offer charts and other investment tools on their website. So we can see that Hertz actually has 2 tickers. So we need to do some research to find out what's the difference between these two. So you got HTZ and then you got HTZWW. So let's go over here to stock info. So we can see stock quote, stock chart, and then the other investor tools on their website. So let's go to stock quote. And usually they have the chart right below it. There we go. And those are the other investment tools. Okay, we got that. So let's go ahead and go over here. Bam. Now, before we look at the charts, remember, okay, remember this. Wrong thing. Bear with me. Remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited. Traders lose critical detail and advanced platform features on a mobile screen. So keep in mind, trading from a phone is usually the least effective way for managing assets. To see every detail, use a full trading platform and watch these streams on a computer or TV. Only use a phone as a last resort. Now let's look at the charts for ticker HTZ. All right. And here we go. Showtime. Now that we have Hertz pulled up on the screen, let's get this disclaimer for this platform. This has been a company I have been in and out of a few times. I've taken positions and things like that in this company. So I got some technical analysis on here already. And we are looking at a 1-year daily chart. So we're going to go back and we're going to zoom out. We're going to go to a 10-year weekly chart. Now, Hertz has filed bankruptcy before, but they've recovered since then to come out of bankruptcy and be relisted on the NASDAQ. So they were a penny stock. They were on the OTC, over the counter. So what we're looking at now is back to 2021. And we can see that they had a high of $46 over that time, and they've been as low as $2.47. Okay. So they've been on a downtrend for sure. And they've just broken above this trend line that I used, that I placed on the weekly chart. I just extended it to see how far back it goes. So we can see that the price, let me take me off the screen to make this clear, has tested this trend line a few times. 1, 2, it didn't quite touch it there, but you can see it's having a hard time getting above that trend line. Came back, tested again, tested, boom. It finally got through it this year. That long downtrend line that we're looking at on this weekly chart. So this area here is 2026. This is 25, 24, 23, 22, and 21. So we're looking back as far as 2021. Now let's focus on where we are now. So we're going to go back to the 1 year daily chart. Put me back on the screen. We're going to do some quick technicals on this. But first, I want to go into my settings and move this over to change this to 30. The expansion area needs to be 30, guys. So bam, there we go. All right, so we can see how it broke out of that long-term downtrend. This is that downtrend line. Now, when it went up from this $3.78 up to, well, I connected it to this one. So let me remove this. So we're gonna remove that drawing and we're gonna use a new one and connect it from the bottom of that candle to the high. Bam. All right. Now this move, this trend line is going to tell us what happened. So in 32 days, this stock went up over 116% from this 52-week low. So that high following that low, I'm going to use this price level tool. That high was $8.18. And it went up over 116% in about a month, guys. So if something is over 100%, that's a double. Every 100% is whatever that investment capital was. So if somebody invested $10,000 or $1,000 or $100, when you get 100% return, that money doubled. And this happened in 32 days. 116% return. So that opportunity was there. So it spiked up right after that long downtrend that we seen on the chart. So right now the price is trading above the 9-day simple moving average and the 200-day simple moving average. When we look at EPS, this earnings right here was the first time they were positive in a while. So it was 12 cents. Then the following EPS they reported was negative again. So it was negative 63 cents. And now they've reported negative again. So now they're not profitable for 2 earnings in a row. And it's getting worse. So it was negative 63 cents. And now it's negative 72 cents. Despite this spike that they had. And it came back to test this 200-day simple moving average, and it's recovered a little since then. And like I said, the price is still above the 9 and the 200, but it looks like it's showing some weakness, and it shows that they're moving backwards instead of forwards because their losses they're getting deeper in unprofitability from based on what we're seeing from the EPS becoming larger on the negative side. Okay. So let's look for some support and resistance. If we were to use this area right here, and I'm going to explain why I see this as support and resistance. When I look back to the left of the chart, let me take me off the screen. When I look back to the left of the chart, I can kind of see how it found support in this area. It found resistance here, like it wasn't able to get through it here. It wasn't able to get through it here. You can see that it's been testing that area a few times. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually make this a zone instead of a line. It connected to that. Hold on a second. I'll make this a zone. It's snapping. I know it's wrong. Let me go up here and cut this snap off. It's snapping to the open, high, low, and close. So I turn that to off, click apply, and now I can do what I want to do. I can put it where I want to put it. So I wanted to put this zone right here. So here's my zone. That's my support and resistance zone. Because I'm seeing that when it went into that zone from above it, it found support. These wicks dipped out of it, but they weren't able to close below it. These wicks touched the bottom of inside the zone, but they didn't even come out the second time they tested it. And it was able to recover. And then it found this area as resistance, but it just was forming wicks in that area. Let me zoom in so you can see what I'm saying. It was only wicks. The bodies never made it into this zone that I put up here as resistance. I have no idea why I put this here. I think I was highlighting a downtrend that I was seeing from here to here. So it was finding trouble right here at that long-term downtrend we were seeing. And then it started, it respected it again. It just kept failing, trying to get above this long-term downtrend. So as far as support, this is what I'm seeing for support, this zone, which is right below where the price is now. Let me zoom in. And that 735, that's going to be my area of resistance. Now, I don't even know why that's there, because the last time it went up, you're going to have this wick right here. So if I was to be accurate, I would put this one. Let me remove this. Remove, bam, remove. And I will put it here. I would use that as my first level of resistance, because it's the most recent. I took the snap off. That's why it's not snapping. I forgot I took it off. Open, high, low, close. There we go. Apply. We're going to snap it. Boom. So this is where the price action is right now. This area right here. I'm not going to move with them. I'm not going to mess with them tools. But this candle right here. Okay, so let's get the stock quote for this. Let's get the stock quote for Hertz so we can get the volume. This right here I'm seeing as resistance. This I'm seeing as support. Okay, so we did our quick technical analysis. Let's go ahead and cut back on our floating data box and get the stock quote like I just said, but I didn't do it. It put me back on the screen. Just been rambling. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button. I appreciate it. So Hertz opened today at $6.19. They had a high of $6.41. They had a low of $6.02, and they closed today at $6.05, which was a trading range of about 39 cents. And the trading volume, they traded 6 million shares of this stock today. And this is the day after earnings, because they had earnings on the 7th, and today is the 8th. Okay. So let's look at what they have as average volume for this stock in a daily trading session. So when I take me off the screen, here's my average volume label right here. So on average, Hertz trades about 9 million shares of their stock in a daily trading session. And today they did about 7. I'm rounding up because it's 6.8 million. So I'm rounding up to 7, but that's still below average. And we can see that the volume is decreasing because on earnings, it was trading above average as far as volume. They did 13 million shares traded on that earnings announcement because they released it that morning. So when the market opened, it was responding to it. Okay, so that's what we're seeing for the volume. Let me put me back on the screen. Now, when we look at the volume rank percentile, out of the most recent 252 trading days, it's smack dab in the middle. The volume rank percentile is 50%. So out of 152 trading days, it's perfectly balanced. So that's going to be 100. That 5 in there is throwing me off. I don't want to mess this up and look crazy. So I'm just pull the calculator up. 252 divided by 2. Just use the tools, guys. Don't try to be a hero. 126 is going to be half. And we seeing that right there on the label. That's why we getting the 50%. So it's smack dab in the middle. 126 days are higher as far as volume, and 126 days are below. So DA is days above, and DB is days below. That's what we're looking at when we look at the volume rank percentile. Okay, so we covered Hertz. Let's go back here. Let's go to the main. We covered that. We going. Here we go. All right. So back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe. And if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, I ain't mad at you. Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description. Okay, let's look at what the S&P 500 index did today by using the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company in the S&P 500 index. Okay, so let's go back to our charts. Bam. And we're going to take Hertz off the screen because we're done with them for now. And we're going to click this. We're going to put the SPY up here, and we're going to go up here to the symbol box, and we're going to type in SPY. And guys, they hit another 52-week high today. It's just going up, 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 up. That's all we seeing. At least this time it didn't gap. So this time it didn't gap up, but it definitely went up. So today, the new high, it's the new 52-week high for the SPY is $738.08. So for our technical analysis, we've already been drawing on this chart every day. So we're just going to move this line up to that 738.08. I'm just going to remove this line, and the new line will snap to it. So remove drawing, use my tools, price line, snap it, bam. $738.08. That's my resistance line now. Historically, it's never been this high. It's just keep hitting new highs. Just in case it's your first time here tonight or you didn't see the previous video, I'll go back to the 10-year weekly chart. As you can see, there's no price up there historically when we look back. Okay, these are record highs, $738.08. That's what we're seeing. And the lowest it's been in the last 10 years, if I take me off the screen, you can see it, is $198.65. Can you believe it? Man, climbing. All right, so let's go over here. We're back on the 1-year daily chart. Put me back on the screen. And we're going to go over the ETF quote because, like I said, we really don't have no technicals to put because we already went drawing crazy on this, on this ETF. So let me pull up the floating data box, go to settings, data box, floating, apply, okay. Mouse over today's candle, and let's get to it. So the SPY ETF opened at $734.93. They had a high of $738.08. They had a low of $734.57, and they closed today at $737.62, which was a trading range of $3.51. When we look at the trading volume, they traded 47 million shares of this ETF today. And every time it keeps going up, guys, it is going up on a lower than average volume. Let's go over to the labels to verify this. And let me take off the floating data box. Okay, so the average volume for the SPY ETF in a daily trading session is 75 million shares of this ETF is what they trade on average in a daily trading session. I know I said it twice, but I'm teaching right now. So when we look at the volume for today, here's our label for that, 47 million. That's below average. We can glance right at this and see that. And then we can see Friday's volume. This would previous mean. So Thursday, they traded 51 million shares in that trading session. So the volume is decreasing, but both of those are below average. Now we're going to look at our days above and days below. Let me put me back on the screen. So our days above volume out of the most recent 252 trading days is 236. So 236 trading days were higher than today's volume. And 16 of those 252 trading days are below today's volume. So the volume rank percentile is 6.3%. So today's volume is only higher than 6.3% of the most recent 252 trading days. I'm getting a lot better at explaining this because I know this seems a little complicated, but we getting there. I'm getting better at explaining it. Okay, so now when we look at where it's trading at now, this is where it's trading at. Let me bring this tool over here. I haven't used this in a minute, but we got some things we can use, so we gonna use them. If I grab this circle, I'm trying to be fancy. I got these tools, I want to use them. Okay, this candle right here, today's candle. That candle is trading above this line. So this 9-day simple moving average, the dashed green line, and the dashed white line is our 200-day simple moving average. And today's price is trading, the trading activity, today's trading are above both of those simple moving averages. And it's definitely trending up. So that's what we're looking at on the SPY. So now we can just clear all of this out. I haven't used this tool in a while. Delete. There we go. All right. Make sure I got that on. Okay, we're good. So now we can go here. Bam. We did that. All right, now let's look at today's winners and losers. First, we're going to look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. Okay, so let's go back to the charts. Did we take SPY off the screen? No, we didn't. Here we go. So we're going to take SPY off because we're done with those. And I don't know what I did, so I'm going to put this. We're going to go to this shot right here for a second while I get this watch list up because I don't want to spoil it. All right. I have it right. So we can go ahead and pull this up. So here we go. Bam. So the biggest loser for today in the S&P 500 is ticker MTD, Medler Toledo International Incorporated, okay? And they lost 14.77% today. Their previous close was $1,319.29, and they closed today at $1,124.46. So we're going to bring out the calculator. And if someone had invested $1,000 at the previous closing price and suffered that 14.77% loss, we will multiply this times 14.77. We're going to negate it because it was a loss, it was negative. And then we're going to hit percentage. So it's going to convert it to a decimal. And then we hit enter. So that person would have lost $147.70 in a day from Thursday to Friday with that 14.77% loss. Now, if we add the $1,000 principal back to it, the initial investment capital, it will show what that person would be left with in value. And it would be $852.30. All right. So we broke that down. Now we're going to go and look to see more details about this company. So we're going to go over to the Analyze tab. Bam. And we can see ticker MTD, and they are in the healthcare sector. And this week, we've been seeing some shakiness in the healthcare sector, guys. They've been showing up as the biggest loser a few times. So I'm going to go back to the watch list, and we're going to point some things out. We're going to do a little bit more research since we're seeing that healthcare is the biggest loser today. So we're going to go back to the watch list, and we're going to look right here under sectors, and we're going to look to see how many of these other companies are in the healthcare sector. Something is going on with this ticker HOLX, so ignore that one. I don't know what's going on with that. It's possibly being delisted from the S&P 500, but they haven't taken it out of the watch list on Thinkorswim yet. Don't quote me on it, but I think that's what's going on because you can see it says NA, or something's going on. I just don't know specifically what, okay? But out of these top losers, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the biggest losers as far as 8, none of those are healthcare except the top one. You don't get to healthcare again until you get to 9 and 10, okay? But I'm gonna still show you how we go and look at that sector. So we go right here. We're under the Market Watch tab, and we're gonna go to the Visualize sub tab. So when we go there, we are looking at the heat map for the S&P 500 index. We're going to hit the drop down, and we're going to go down to the healthcare sector. So the healthcare sector is right here. I'm not blocking it. Got to check my view. So here we are. So now we're looking at all the healthcare in the S&P 500 index. But now we want to get a little bit more specific and focus on the industry. But we need to find where that company is we just looked at to find out what industry they are in. So it is MTD. So I'm browsing over. MTD is over here. So it looks like life sciences. So let's see if that's what we got. Click that. MTD. Nope, I don't see it. And let me take me off the screen. I don't want to block this. We're going to find it, guys. Let's go back. So we go back to healthcare. MTD. Down here. I see life sciences. And so did I miss it? MTD. That's a life sciences tools and services. Right here, we click it. There it is. Man, I'm blind. Bright red. There it go, right here, right in the corner, right smack it, right, bam, would have bit me. If it was a snake or a dog, would have got me. But there you go. So we found it. And it looks like 3 of the companies, well, 4, they didn't even turn red. So it could be just a little shakiness today in the life sciences tools and services industry. But that's how you find it. So let's go back over here to analyze. And we're going to go down here to the company profile. Take me off the screen so we can read that. So the website is right here. And the link for that website is also down in the description for your convenience. The name of the company is on the screen. And we're going to read a little bit of the description before we visit the website. So Medler Toledo International Incorporated manufactures and supplies precision instruments and services in the Americas, Europe, Asia, and internationally. It operates through 5 segments. I'm browsing over it because that's kind of vague. The company offers laboratory instruments such as laboratory balances, liquid pipetting solutions, real-time analytics, titrators. Man, I would have to look these up. Okay. But it's dealing with something in the healthcare. We let's go to their website and see if we can get some more details through that. Because this boy had me on Chat GTP all night. So here we go. Here's their website. And put me back on the screen. We got that there. Let's put this disclaimer there. Boom. All right. So now that we're here, let's zoom in. And we are at the 150. There we go. So now that we're on the website, yeah, they doing some science for real. Take these off. I am on the screen. All right. Preserving a world of opportunities for future generations. Scoot over. I'm leaning all out the camera. Okay. So products and solutions. Since I didn't really understand too much about it from what we read in the description, and then some of it I didn't know what it was, I couldn't read it. We're going to go to products and solutions for sure. Here's about us. And we're going to scroll over the home page and see what we can find. So find your solution. So laboratory weigh-in, because they did mention something about scales. Okay. Truck scales. Okay, they deal with some scales. They weigh in trucks. Process analytics, liquid handling, analytical instruments. Okay, it's starting to make a little bit more sense. So this is what I mean by like going to the websites. They help bring some of the words to life. They start giving you some visuals so you can see what it is they're talking about. So at the grocery store, when you weigh your fruit or your vegetables or your food, it looks like they have retail weighing scales for that. They're weighing trucks. Why? They deal with laboratory stuff too. So I guess that's why they're in the pharmaceutical sector, the healthcare sector, not pharmaceutical sector, the healthcare sector. So service and support, repair services, spare parts, preventative maintenance, expertise, events. Okay, so we're down at the bottom. Let's browse over this to see what we can find. There's some more about their product solutions over here. I know I'm blocking it, but it's not that deep. The links for the websites are down in the description for your convenience as well. So you have jobs and careers. We're definitely going to go there. Business description. We're going to check that out to help get a better understanding about the business. Global presence, so we can see their reach. And then we're going to look at investors relations. Okay. So let's start with business description. Let's start with that. So global leader in precision instruments. Okay, so this is a big deal. They're claiming they're the leader. So when you need a scale, this is who you go to. When you want to know exactly how much liquid, how much something weighs, how heavy the truck is, precision is a big deal. That word is key. This, you don't want to skimp out on that if you want to know exactly what something is. So this is what it seems like they specialize in, okay? So it's starting to get a clearer picture to me. And see, there we go. Food retail, when I was talking about the fruits and the vegetables, to weigh that at the counter when people are checking out at the grocery store. Okay, so we got that. Do they have those options? Yes, they're down here. So we seen, now let's look at global presence. Let's see what they break down for this. So worldwide reach with local field support and service. We serve global customers with one of the largest sales and service networks in our industry. Over 5,000 sales and service specialists strong. Okay, so they have a map here showing that's we operate manufacturing facilities. So that's the manufacturing facilities, if I'm not mistaken, based off what they're saying down here. And I was blocking it, you couldn't see it. So those are the different locations all over the globe, all over the world, okay? All right, so we covered that. Now we're gonna go to jobs and careers. We wanna find the benefits, remember? And then I don't think we've seen anything about the vision, the mission, the purpose, and all of that. So manage. Wow, I hate all this stuff, man. Strictly necessary. That's all I want. I said except home. We done? Yeah, okay, we done. Let's zoom in. I know I couldn't hide. That was frustrating me. Could I? All right. So we had careers, home, career areas, our culture, why work here, job alert, save job, our business roles. I don't see anything. R&D means research and development and production. So healthcare are also one of those sectors where a lot of money is spent on research and development. Okay. So they spend a lot of money on that. That's one of the sectors that spend a lot of cash on that. That's important to those businesses. I don't see anything on here about the benefits, guys. Nothing that jumps out at me. I'm gonna click on this. Nah, I don't see anything. All right, our culture. So maybe that'll give us something. There we go, our purpose. So the purpose is your drive. At Mettler Toledo, we foster a one-team culture where everyone is valued, respected, and given the chance to succeed. We've spent a lot of time on this, okay? So the links are down in the description for your convenience. I'm going to go ahead and hurry up. They talk about their value. So we found it. We've been digging around. We finally found this stuff. So here it is. But let's go to investors relations. I think we're going to have to close this out. Yes. So here is the investor relations. Let's see what we can find on their website. It's loading up. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. So right at the top, I see stock info. And here's their stock right there. So let's scroll down. 4 billion annual revenue. Give some specs right there. We're at the bottom. I just want to scroll over it so you can see it real quick. All right, now we're going to go to stock info and wrap this up. Stock info, stock quote, stock chart. And here are some other tools that they have on their website. So let's go to stock quote. And usually they have there it is, the chart right up under that. And here are the other tools. Okay, so we got it. We're done. Let's go to Thinkorswim. Bam. Change this to this. We have that disclaimer there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button. I definitely would appreciate it. Okay, so this company definitely gapped down today, guys. And we are looking at the 1 year daily chart. It's trading below the 9-day simple moving average and the 10 and the 200-day simple moving average, this dashed white line. So I've never seen this company before. We haven't looked at this before on the live stream. So I'm going to zoom out and we're going to go to the 10-year weekly chart so we can get an idea about how this company has been trending and performing over the last 10 years. So that's what we're looking at now. Okay, let me take me off the screen so we can talk about this. So the lowest this stock has been in the last 10 years is $343.61. The highest it's been is $1,714.75. So that's the all-time high as far as the last 10 years, because we're not going back no further than that. And we can see that they struggled to get back above this. Once they broke it this one time here to create that high over the 10 years, they tested that area again twice, and they weren't able to get above it. And then they sold off. Started the trend, came back up, and when they came back up, they couldn't quite get past this level. So let me show you what I'm doing, just in case this is confusing you. Even though I'm seeing the price levels get tested on the right, I go back to the left to see the first time historically it was struggling with those levels. Okay, so I don't do my charts from the right, I do them from the left. So when I'm looking, I'm seeing that this area right here is like a resistance zone. Instead of just a flat out resistance line, it's a resistance zone. And here, it couldn't even reach it. 1, 2, 3. It couldn't even get up to it. And it tried again. So if now, because this zone failed up here, I would do this. Okay. So we can actually shorten this one. I'm gonna just remove it. We don't need all this stuff. So here's the recent area of resistance, but we worked our way from the left over historically, and we used the weekly chart. So now we need to find some type of support, and we going back to the left again, right? So I'm seeing that where this price is now, this is where I'm seeing support at. And we can even make this a zone if we include this low. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm using that low and I'm bringing it over to the right. So we can see this as a support zone. Then if it can get through that, now we're looking for another support here. So we used a larger time frame to get our support and resistance zones. Now that we've done that, we can go over to the 1 year daily chart. And now our technicals are already done because we did it on a larger time frame. And if we wanted to extend this over, we just right click on that rectangle, go to edit properties, and we find the furthest date. So 2026, this one here, we hit the calendar, and then we just make it go further out. So we want to have that go out to December 1st. Then click OK, and it'll extend it over. So we have that. So a few things we're going to look at for support and resistance. We have our support zone, so we're good with that quick technical analysis, okay? So now we're going to look at this, the 9-day simple moving average. I'm seeing that as resistance, okay? And then this, the 200-day simple moving average, I'm seeing that as resistance. But our support is this zone right down here, the $1,082.78, which is not perfectly at the top of that zone. If I right click on it, we can see exactly what those prices are. Here's the top of the zone. This higher number is the top of the zone. The lower number is the bottom of the zone. Okay. And it'll say value next to it. I'll move it over because I was blocking it. That's how I'm getting that. So let's get the stock quote for this stock. So I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to cut on my floating data box. Boom, apply. Okay. Mouse over it. Now let's talk about it. So MTD opened today at $1,193.05. They had a high of $1,228.88. They had a low of $1,110.82, and they closed today at $1,124.46, which was a trading range of $118.06. When we look at the trading volume, oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I got excited because I'm seeing something that's amazing to me. This stock is not liquid. They don't have enough trading activity. Usually when a stock has earnings, they see an increase in volume. So when I mouse over this, they had earnings. That says the rectangle. So they're not showing the earnings because I have that tool there. So I'm gonna have to remove that tool, remove the drawing, and now I'll be able to activate this. So they had earnings yesterday, but it had to be aftermarket. Okay, see, it said aftermarket. So that means, and that's Central Time. So that's 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So today they're reacting from the earnings, and they usually have increased volume on earnings, right? Even with this increased volume, they barely traded 500,000 shares today. That's a big deal as far as like that's very low liquidity. If you want to get in and out of a stock, they need to trade at least 1 million shares in a day, at least. That's something else that I had to learn the hard way because I haven't seen people teach that. You need liquidity in a stock or in an investment that you want to trade or invest in. Because if you don't have a lot of people trading it or enough liquidity, enough action, you won't be able to get out at the price you want to get at. You'll have to sell at a lower and lower. They call it slippage. Look it up. Don't have a lot of time to get into it. But anyway, that's that. So let me take you off the screen and we're going to talk about this volume, okay? And I'm going to remove this floating data box. So when we look over here, the average trading volume, guys, is only 150,000 shares of this stock is traded in a day. That's extremely low. And today, they did about 500,000 shares traded today. And then Thursday, they did about 200,000. They did about 200,000. Today, they did about 500,000. I'm rounding down about 500,000. Now, when we look at my volume rank percentile tool, if I put me on the screen, let me see how much of this blocks. It don't block much of it. Okay. Out of the most recent 252 trading days, no days had higher volume than today. DA means days above. No days had higher volume. Days below, all 252 of them. So the one day that had the most volume was today. That's why the volume rank percentile is 100%. So that basically means that today's volume was higher than all of the 252 trading days that are the most recent. That's what we're seeing. And then we didn't draw the gap down. So let me draw the gap down before we move on. So the gap down is going to be from today's high and yesterday's low. So yesterday's low was 1307.81. 1307, we got it. 1307.81. You see that? And now we need the high of today. So the high of today was 1228.88. 1228.88. 1228.88. There we go. So that's how we put it in there. And then I like to change this to yellow. So that lets me know that it's a gap down. Instead of me just trying to identify a specific area on the chart, I make the gaps yellow. So that's what we do. So when we come back to a chart, if this ever comes up again, we'll immediately know that the yellows were gap downs or gap ups. Okay. So we can move on. Let's go to, we're done with MTD. Let's go back to Market Watch and let's get the biggest loser for today. We're under the Market Watch tab and we're going to go to the quotes sub tab. And then we're going to click percentage change. Let's take the loser off the screen because we're moving on. So now we're going to talk about the biggest winner. So the biggest winner for today is Akamai Technologies. Okay. Bam. Put them on the screen. These guys been tearing it up. So we gonna do some work on the charts when we get over there. So they went up 26.58% today, guys. That's nuts in one day. So yesterday, they closed at $116.69. Today, they closed at $147.71. Let's break out that calculator. So if someone invested $500 at that previous closing price and got that 26.58%, here's the math. Multiply 26.58 and hit the percentage, convert it to a decimal, hit enter. Boom. They would have made $132.90 on top of their $500 investment capital. So we add the $500 back to it and then boom. All right. Let me show you a quick little trick just in case you didn't want to have to go through that extra step of adding back to it, what you do is this. So we start off with the $500 and then we multiply it. Now remember, anything times 1, you're going to get that. So we're going to put 1 there. Right. We're going to put 1 there. And then we're going to put 26.58 and turn it to a decimal. So as you can see, when it changes it to the decimal, the 1 is on the outside. So that's going to make sure it includes the $500 when we hit enter. And there we go. So you have it done already. So instead of you having to break it into steps, you can do it that way. So that's something new I haven't did on the channel before. So that's that. All right, now let's get some more details about this. So we're going to go over to analyze. And then boom, ticker, ACAM. We got it on the screen. Yes, we do. They're in the information technology sector. I'm about to speed up a little bit because we almost at 12. So when I hit the information, no, we're not going to do that. Let's go over to visualize. So we go to market watch, bam, go to visualize, bam. We were in the healthcare sector. So let's go to information technology. Make sure I'm not blocking it. Boom, that's where we go. Now we're looking for ACAM. We're looking for ACAM. It's going to be bright, bright, bright green. And I see it. It's all the way down here in the corner. I looked hard this time because last time I missed it. So it's in the IT services, okay? Let me take me off the screen. So we're going to go down to the IT services industry and boom. Now you can see it. There it is. It's making it bigger. So it's in the internet services and infrastructure. So if we were to get even more specific, we would go into the sub industry and there it is. Those are the 3 companies inside the internet services and infrastructure, inside the information technology sector, in the electronic in the IT services industry, and in the internet services and infrastructure sub industry. All right, let's go back to analyze. I'm already off the screen. Akamai Technologies Incorporated, name of the company. Here's their website, link to the website, also down in the description for your convenience. Let's read a little bit of this description. Akamai Technologies Incorporated engages in the provision of security, delivery, and cloud computing solutions in the United States and internationally. It offers security solutions that include web application and application programming interfaces. That's all I'm going to read it at, okay? So now we're going to pull up their website. Bam. We're going to put me on the screen. Bam. To that too. Change the disclaimer. We got it. All right. And scroll to the top because we all the way at the bottom. We can start it off at the bottom. We good. Now zoom in. I done got comfortable. Guys, I'm so happy it's Friday. I had to say it again. How far are we zoomed in? We don't need 200%. Let's go back down. There we go. All right. So how to master agentic AI, start here. So we know they deal with security, so cybersecurity, cloud computing, and we want to find out what they've been recognized for as far as like some awards. So that's some of the things right here. We know what their goods and we know what their services are. So we already looked at that. Cloud computing, security, content delivery. Now we're going to go down to the bottom. And we can see that right here too. So let me take me off the screen. Right here when it says products, these are their services. So we can find out more details about what they offer. What do they sell and provide to their customers? That's that. So right here, we're going to go to About Us. We're going to go to Awards. We're going to go to Investor Relations. And we're going to go to Careers. And we're going to see if we can find anything about the benefits. Okay, so let's start with About Us and let me put me back on the screen. And hopefully it'll be easier to find the purpose, mission, and vision statements to jump out at us. Okay, so learn how we power and protect life online. There's a video there. You can play that on your own. The link for the websites are down in the description. Every day, billions of people connect with their favorite brands to shop online, play games, share ideas, manage money, and so much more. They may not know it, but Akamai is there, powering and protecting life online. And they say they've been doing it for over 25 years. So they talk about the number of employees they have worldwide. That's great. And that was something else. Here's another tip for tonight. I'll give you some new game. That was something else that I slept on, or I didn't know when I first started trading and investing. that the number of employees is important. Would you invest in a company that is supposed to be valued for millions of dollars that only got one employee? That might seem a little suspicious, right? So the number of employees kind of help justify the size and value of a company. I didn't realize that at first when I first started investing, and I felt stupid because some of the money I had already lost and put into investments, I started doing what I'm showing you guys to do now. And little tips like that, I would have never invested or traded in that thing. It's a company valued at $10 million, got 4 employees, and they literally had it on the website. And I'll show you where to find that, actually, since I brought it up. And I know this is educational, this is important, so I don't mind deviating from the stream to show you this real quick. You're here, so this shows you want to learn anyway. So I got you. So I'm gonna bring this over, and I'm gonna blow this up. So I'm gonna show you where you find this at, because what we saw was on a Camai's website, right? Well, what if they don't list it on the website? Here's how you find it. Go to Yahoo, bam. Now when you go to Yahoo, got to go to Yahoo Finance, blow this up. That's the NVIDIA guy. Okay, are we zoomed in? So we're gonna go over and put in the ticker ACAM, AKAM. Are they still on? Yeah, they still on the screen. Now, when they pull them up, we're gonna scroll down, and right here, we're gonna go to profile. On the left side of the screen, you can't see it. Let me take me off the screen. Right here where it says profile, bam. Now we're gonna scroll down, and right here, they tell you the number of employees. So you don't have to rely on them saying it on their website. We can go fact check it and look somewhere else for it. So they say their full-time employees is 11,000 on Yahoo Finance. So now when we go back to a Camai's website, bam, we see that they say they have over 11,300 employees worldwide. Now remember, Yahoo Finance said full-time. So maybe the difference could be part-time. You see what I'm saying? You have to pay attention to these words that's being used, okay? Educate yourself, guys. Please, please. All right. So I am looking for, what did we just do? We were on About Us, right? I believe so. So now we're going to look at awards, and I'm blocking. Can you see it? No, you can't see it. So I'm going to take me off the screen. Let's go to awards. Bam. So here's some of the awards they've been recognized for, recognition. I'm not going to read all these. I'm just scrolling down so you can get a glance and see what's going on. Man, it's a lot of awards. I saw one that said Forbes. Okay, so now we're back down here. Let's see what else is interesting. We did that, blah, 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 information. Okay, let's go to careers. Bam, put me back on the screen. There we go. And I'm looking for benefits, guys. I want benefits. Where are the benefits? Careers, inclusions, life of the Camai. And the first time we covered this company on the live stream, I was butchering their name. I was calling them a Cami. A Cami is a Camai. So cloud infrastructure, security, engineering. I do not see the benefits. It's still scrolling. I'm going to try one more time. Go up to the top. Product Y. Let's go to Y. Nope. That's like for their customers. Life here at a Camai. Jobs includes dope. Global benefits to support your health. We found it. Low health and wellness, mental health, family building, financial support programs. So we found them. That's where we find it at. Okay. And now they have country specific benefits. So this helps you kind of gauge how large the company is. They're in Costa Rica, India, Israel, Japan, Poland. This is important, guys. Look at this. Okay. This helps us get an idea behind just the figures and the words that's on these financial documents. Look, go check, go see. All right. So we did that. Now, work careers, blah, 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 blah. Now we're going to go to investor relations. We can get ready to wrap this up. So let's go to investor relations. Of course, it opened up on a different screen. So let's bring this over and blow this up. And thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you. Okay. So we're going to blow this up. Full screen that, full screen this before I mess something up. All right. Are we zoomed in on this? Yep. That's good. They didn't mess us up, because sometimes they be zooming us out and I'll be like, why you do that? Why you do that? Okay, we're going to scroll over this page. I see exactly where we need to go, but I'm just going to scroll over it a little bit. Cool. It's short. So let's go to stock information. We can see that they have a couple tools here. We're going to go to quotes and charts. There we go. So we know they trade on the NASDAQ, ticker ACAM. That was the closing price for today. And it looks like the chart isn't working. I don't see it. And this is the disclaimer for the chart, but it's not showing up. All right, so let's go over to Thinkorswim. We're done. Bam. We already have them pulled up. We got them there. Now we need the Thinkorswim disclaimer. There we go. All right, go to the charts. Here we are. So we have ACAM pulled up on the charts, and this was some technical analysis we did last time we looked at it. And I don't even remember what we were doing. I think I was trying to identify a time frame. So it looked like it was. So we talked about consolidation for the last few weeks. So I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing now that I'm looking at it again. This was consolidation. Even over here, this was a long period of consolidation. It fell out of the range a few times. That snapped. Oh, it messed me up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up here to settings. This is what's happening, guys. Right here, I'm going to teach you this. This snap drawings to open, high, low, close. So it's going to try to grab the nearest candle, open, high, low, or close. That's why it's moving and changing where I actually want to put it. So to be more precise, you cut that off, and then you can be more precise about where you want to put it. So the price was trading for a while within that range. You can see that. That was consolidation. Now, we've talked about this before. Let me take me off the screen. And now I can use this tool because I want to use an arrow. So after consolidation, the stock price is going to go in one of two directions. I know you can't see me, so I'm going to just I just clicked it. Why I didn't do it? Oh my gosh. Let's not worry about it. Let me just put me on the screen because it didn't do it. I have no idea what's going on with this. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Got an issue. Oh, I know what the issue is. I got this tool on. Hold on 1 second. I know what it is. Ooh, that made me nervous. It was the tool. Got it. So here we go. Let me explain this to you. Cam. See, we got to learn this stuff. Thank you for not leaving. Okay. So the consolidation that I highlighted on the screen, after a period of consolidation where the price is trading in a tight range for a certain period of time. So when we go back to the charts, we're going to see how long it consolidated. The prices has to go in a different trend. It can't stay in that trend forever. So it's trending sideways. So it's either going to start an uptrend or it's going to start a downtrend. If the trend doesn't change, it's just going to continue to trend sideways. So that's what I mean by eventually it has to go up or it has to go down. So that's what I'm about to show you on the chart. So let's go back to the charts. Bam. And I'm not going to put me on the screen, even though it's going to do it and take me off the screen. And now I'm going to use this tool to draw this arrow. So we can see that after this consolidation phase, it went up and then it consolidated again. That's what we see highlighted here. So after it consolidated for a while, it went up. See that? Okay. So now it kept trending up. And then it sold off. And then it found this area for support at $90.04. And then after it found this area for support, it tested this level. You see right here, let me zoom in. Let me take this tool off. We're going to zoom in. When it came in off this area of support, it tested the $97.84. It wasn't able to get through it the first few times. And we are looking at a 1 year daily chart. So each one of these candles represent days. I'm going to put me back on the screen. Each one of these candles represent days. So this candle right here and that candle was 4/29. Okay. So that was April 29th. That was the first candle that closed above. This probably closed above it. This doji right here. We're going to focus on this one. This one closed above that area of resistance because the price was trending below it. So that would be resistance. Once it closed above it, we can see that once it did that, oh boy, it just took off. And now we have a gap here, okay? Now I'm getting a little faster with these tools. So now we're gonna put our gap and we're gonna snap this so to make it easier. So we're gonna cut that snap, open, high, low, close back on, apply. I'm gonna snap it to that and I'm gonna bring it up and snap it to that. So now we don't have to do that extra step. We're gonna change that to yellow and that represents our gap. Now, if we wanna expand this, we go to edit properties and then let me hide those for a second. But when I do that, yeah, we're just gonna do hide. We want to extend the date further to the right. So we find the highest date, that's the 9th. So we go to the calendar and that goes to 20. We don't go to that far. We just want to go a couple months over on the 1st. Click OK, and that expands that gap so we can see it, okay? So that's how we navigate on the charts. And we're going to cut the drawings back on so you can see them. Now, when I zoom back out, these arrows are going to be in the wrong spot. So we're going to just remove them. Hey, we're in the wrong spot when I zoomed in. Okay, so we're gonna remove those, go to delete, bam, so we're good. All right, so a Cami has been consolidating. Somebody was buying this, and I told you I was going to tell you how to measure the time frame. So we're going to use this tool. If I use the roller, we're going to go to the trend line. So we're going to connect it to the bottom of this candle and bring it all the way over to this candle. That was when the uptrend started. Now, when I connect those candles, it's going to tell me how many days that was. So it was 179 days that it consolidated. All right. So we're going to pull out our calculator and do our math. 179 divided by 30. 30 days are in a month, roughly. So what did I do? 179 divided by 30, not multiplied it. So about 6 months. It consolidated for about 6 months before it broke out and went up. So now we want to find out how long it consolidated here. So we use that tool again, connect that, and we can see that it gapped up right about there. But let's just use that one. Bam. So how long was that? That was about 2 months. So 6 months plus 2 months. So about 8 months. This thing was just consolidating. And then boom, took off, dropped back down. Now, what was beautiful about this time frame here. So we're going to use that tool again. Now that time frame was another 3 months. So now when we add this together, you got 6, 2, and 3. 6, 2, that's 8, and then 3, so 11. So about 11 months, almost a year, it was consolidation, uptrend, okay? Then it sold off. We walking through the price action. That's what we're doing right now. Sold off and came right back down to the consolidation levels, okay? Let me draw that. It came down. Let me delete that. It came back down to the consolidation levels. So after it ran up, you was able to come back and get it back for these levels in here when it fell down to that $90.04. When it came back down to the support, you was able to get back in if you were patient, and then come right on back up. And then it just took off. But the idea, when we slow this down and think about it, they were buying it up for 8 months at the low. They were buying it for 8 months at the low, whoever that was, whether it was a Cami, whether it was institutions, they were already loading up on it. So if they were already loading up on it for months, we know it was at least 8 months. By the time it broke out here and broke out here to all the way up here, they're already making a killing because they had an opportunity. Let me undo this. And we're going to use this tool because now this is what we're going to do. We're going to use that trend line tool and we're going to connect this low and just highlight this opportunity. This low, that 52-week low to that 52-week high, guys, that's less than a year. And that was an opportunity for 114% return. And remember, I told you 100% is basically doubling your money or doubling someone's money. Somebody invested $1,000, 100% return, and made $1,000 on top of the $1,000 investment. So these technicals on this was fantastic. All right. So let's go ahead and get the stock quote for Cami and knock this out. So we go over here to floating data box, floating, apply. We will after. Yeah, it was 12.14. Okay, here we go. So a Cami opened at $145.45. They had a high of $149.76. They had a low of $132.85. They closed today at $147.71, which was a trading range of $16.91. When we look at the trading volume, they traded 21 million shares of their stock today. Now, because they were reacting to earnings, because the earnings were announced after the market closed yesterday, just confirming, we should see a spike in volume because they're reacting to that earnings, right? So now when we take me off the screen, we're going to check to see what their average trading volume is. Their average trading volume is 3 million shares in a daily trading session. So this is definitely higher. This is 7 times what they usually get. 7 times 3 is 21. That's where I got that from. So 21 million shares were traded today compared to the 3 million average. And even the day before the earnings were released or announced after the market closed yesterday, they traded above average. They did 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. So that's close to 10. That's where I got that from. So 10 million shares were traded on Thursday. Now we're going to look at the volume rank percentile. And if you've been following along, you already know what's popping right there. Out of the most recent 252 trading days, no days had higher volume than today. So the volume rank percentile, of course, is going to be 100%. Today's volume was higher than 100% of the most recent 252 trading days. We got it, guys. So we can go here and we can get ready to wrap this show up. Ooh, listen, I hope you guys have a fantastic, wonderful, wonderful, and safe weekend. Because I know I'm is. I know I am. I'm so happy it's Friday. I don't know what to do. But let's wrap it up. Here we go. You already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. The schedule for the next week's market recap live streams are posted on the channel so you can turn on the notifications. I've done 2 interviews with up-and-coming content creator Tiara Owens, sharing how I started investing in the stock market, my profits and losses, and a link to that playlist. A link to that playlist of interviews are down in the description. And make sure you tune in weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care and God bless.